Hello everyone and welcome to the final episode of our direct booking webinar series. For those of you who have not joined us before, my name is Jess and I'm part of the marketing team here at Lodgify. If you're not sure what we do, I'll quickly give you an overview. So Lodgify is a cloud-based, all-in-one vacation rental software which offers all the features that business owners need to get started and increase their bookings. So that means website templates and a website builder, a booking engine for accepting online reservations and payments, plus a central PMS system to manage bookings, along with a channel manager, which allows you to synchronize with the top portals such as Airbnb, Expedia, and Booking.com. And this helps you avoid any calendar mistakes or overbooking when you are listing on various different platforms. In this fourth and final episode of our direct booking webinar series, we're going to look into marketing your website on paid channels. So we're going to explain what paid search is and what the different components of a paid ad are. Then we'll check out the reasons why paid search can be really beneficial for vacation rental owners. Moving on, we'll look at the different ad formats and how you can track their conversions. And before finishing up, we'll share how get your website visitors on other channels like social media for the best chance of converting them into bookings. Some of the terminology and concepts we'll cover today are quite advanced, but luckily I have Lodgify's own SEM manager on hand, Petra, so she will be here answering all of your questions in the chat that come in. So don't be shy, as you really do have an opportunity to ask an expert today. Leave any questions there and we'll be answering throughout and also at the end if there are any. If everybody is ready, let's get started. Research shows that both online and phone hotel bookers use search engines significantly more than any other tools to begin their trip planning process, with 44% of travelers saying that's where they start their research. This is one of the key factors which is influencing an increasing amount of small rental business to start paid marketing activities. But what is paid search? Paid search is a form of digital marketing where search engines allow advertisers to show ads on their search engine results pages, also known as SERPs. Paid search works on a pay-per-click model, meaning you do exactly that. You only pay when someone clicks on your ad. This makes it a measurable and highly controllable marketing channel compared with more traditional forms of advertising. Now, there are two main methods for paid search campaigns, which we call push and pull models. Push literally means pushing your ads to create awareness on social media or other websites. And you can just think of them as pushier, they're more in your face. And pull, on the other hand, is where searchers are looking for a specific query and your ad comes up as one of the top results. Some examples of push methods would be display ads on websites, social media ads, or Facebook posts, and website pop-ups. Pull examples include PPC and SEO. In general, push methods are based on CPM, which means cost per 1,000 impressions, and it means you pay a certain amount for every 1,000 impressions of the ad. And pull methods, on the other hand, usually work on a cost per click basis. There are just a handful of search engines that people use around the world on a wider scale. And the main ones that we're probably all familiar with are Google, Bing, and Yahoo. Google by far has the biggest presence across the US, Europe, India, Australia, and South America, representing around 90% of searches in these regions. The main contenders for the second and third place across these locales are Bing and Yahoo. And Yahoo also has a really big presence in Japan, with around 24% of searches happening here. In China, however, Baidu is the clear leader with 70%, and in Russia, Yandex comes out on top with 51% of the market share. It's really worth knowing which search engines are most effective for your business location, both for SEO, search engine optimization, and for paid search marketing efforts. So you can target your incoming guests correctly. And also, if you are in a location where you see a high influx of travelers from specific regions, you could think about creating ads on their search engines too. So what do ads look like across these different platforms? I'm going to show a little example that I've already prepared. So on Google, I've typed in here Bristol holiday apartments, simply because I'm from Bristol. Pop that into the presentation. So straight away, we can see in the first place, we have an ad from booking.com. And if we see the same, if we do the same search on Bing and Yahoo, we can also see first place is an ad from booking.com, and also on Yahoo, we're seeing the first ad from booking.com. The only difference here is on Yahoo, we don't see the ad symbol next to the ad, except it's above it and says ads related to, and then the search query I've entered. So looking at these three adverts, they're pretty similar. We've got a big headline here, and more or less the same text between them as well. And this is probably because they're importing the same campaigns from Google to other search engines. This is because Google is the leader and is setting the standard and dictating the rules for creating these ads. So let's take a look in more detail at these different elements which make up a paid search advert. First, we have the headlines 1, 2, and 3. And these lines of text are the most important part of the ad as they are given more emphasis. The headlines are in a larger font and shows a different color, usually blue, to show that it's a URL, it's clickable. So it's recommended to put your most important messaging here to make the user click through to your website. Now, each headline can be up to 30 characters, and that's including spaces. In this example from Airbnb, they have 3 headlines. The first includes my query, which would have been London apartments, so that I already know I'm seeing a relevant ad. The second is showing me one of the main benefits of using this site to book. Free cancellation for the first 48 hours. Safe, if I book this place and then change my mind, I'll be fine for 48 hours. And the third and final headline is the brand, which is Airbnb, which I'm sure everybody recognizes as a well-known apartment rental site and a brand in itself. The next part of this ad structure is the description. So description lines 1 and 2. And these can be up to 90 characters each, also including spaces. So the description lines don't stand out as much as the headlines do, but they do generally explain the benefits of that product or website and tend to include a call to action. So in this case, we've got book your stay now from $49 a night. That seems cheap enough for me. I'm going to click through onto that. Now, the description is really important for the website user to learn more. So even if it's not as immediately eye-catching as the headlines, you still need to have it. Then there is the display you're seeing here, which has the green symbol of ad next to it. So every text ad requires a final URL to which the ad will be directed. And the root of that URL is the display URL. So as we're seeing here, this is just showing me airbnb.com. But the final URL is probably, if we switch back to Google, it's probably something more like this. So this is the Bristol example again, but we've got a lot more in this URL than we saw on the Google ad. It's got these search parameters, which are also helping to track where the clicks are coming from. And with display URL paths, you can also add relevant keywords while also creating a more user-friendly breadcrumb trail. And this means you can utilize up to 2 display URL paths, with each one being allowed 15 characters, including spaces. You can also think about including promotional messaging in the display URL to give an extra incentive to click. So for example, I've seen some properties add something like book direct or best price here. These kind of words that will really incentivize users to click through and see what you're offering. And the final part of the paid ad structure are these site links. So these links we see along the bottom here. And these are extensions to your ad, and they allow you to show more links on your ads and send people to specific pages on your website. So in this instance, we might want to send them to the availability calendar or to some special offers for that season, or even to your booking page directly. How site links show up in the ad can vary depending on the device, the position in search results, and some other factors, but they are free to include on your ads, as you're only charged for the clicks from people viewing it. And the cost of a click on a site link is the same as the cost of a click on the headline in the same ad. And it's worth noting that you should do keyword research to determine which specific terms to target in your paid ads, just like you would organically on your site for SEO too. For a keyword research demo and more information on that topic, you can head over to our YouTube channel and watch the previous episode of this webinar series where we looked at content and keywords in more detail. So paid search marketing is quite an advanced activity that not all property owners will undertake, but it certainly is good to know the reasons why vacation rental businesses do it and why more and more people are getting involved and creating some paid ads. So there are a lot of advantages to using paid search, and these tend to include the fact that they can generate more leads and sales, and it can also help build a brand reputation or improve awareness of the brand. And really different ad formats can be used to effectively target different parts of the customer journey. Having brand ads can especially help increase the volume of clicks through to your website. In fact, I read that a study by Bing on the travel sector suggested that without ads, the organic listing will receive around 61% of available clicks, but the volume of clicks increased by 27% when brand ads were present. Given the fact that travelers tend to look at over 20 sites before they make a purchase, having these ads and showing up in the top of search results can really increase your chances of being found. So the funnel diagram up here on the presentation can give us some ideas regarding the typical traveler buyer journey and the types of campaigns you could build for them to interact with. So for example, in this early research phase where they're simply toying with the idea of booking a vacation rental or holiday apartment, you can use search campaigns with your location keywords and along with display campaigns. When we get further down the funnel and the traveler starts searching for certain dates in specific locations, this is a good time to hit them with search ads that really meet their requirements. So this might include the type of property they're looking for, maybe a luxury villa or a child-friendly city apartment. Then when drawing up a shortlist, it's really good to be present in front of your travelers in terms of your category and your brand, so they can find out if it's the right property for them. And this is also where retargeting comes into play. If they've visited your website once, you can retarget them on other channels. Now, this is something I'm going to cover a little bit later on in the presentation. If they're ready to make their booking, you want your branded terms to really stick out and the retargeting ads to pop up and push them into making the decision to stay at your property. So as I've just mentioned some different ad formats, I wanted to go into a bit more detail about these. So text ads on the search network are what we've seen in the previous example, like this one here. And they tend to show just above and below organic Google search results. And they look almost the same as organic results, just with this indicator that it's an ad next to them. And they have the three main parts that we covered: the headline text, display URL, and description text. We have a really good step-by-step tutorial of creating search ads on our blog, which I will include at the end of the presentation for everybody to access. I'll send this out in an email later on. So on the other hand, is defined by banner ads, which can be graphic or text. They can be static or dynamic, meaning it can be a just one image, or it can be a series of images like a GIF, a slideshow, that appear in specifically designated areas of a website or a social media platform like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and so on. This means they don't show in search results like search ads do, and this is the main difference between search and display. Retargeting is a feature that lets you customize your display ads campaign for people who have previously visited your site. And it allows you to tailor your ads using dynamic remarketing to these visitors when they browse the web and use other apps. Again, this is something I will cover in the next slide, as it's one of the top ad formats for small businesses like vacation rentals. Another format which is gaining more and more popularity is video ads. So within Google Ads, you can create videos with a range of video ad formats to engage potential guests in different ways on YouTube and across video partner sites. So if you're anything like me and you like to watch videos on YouTube, you'll most likely have come across video ads in recent years. And these tend to prevent you from watching the video you want to watch directly. Usually you have to wait at least a few seconds of watching the ad in order to skip it. And sometimes you can't skip it at all if they're bidding a lot for that one. And finally, there is a new type of ad format specifically for the hotel industry called Google Hotel Ads. Now, I haven't had much time to investigate this very in-depth so far, but from what I gather, hotel campaigns let you set bids and compete for booking links, which are displayed alongside hotel search results on Google Search, Maps, and Assistant. And again, we're seeing this in the presentation, organic marketing, and when we went through Google Tools, that more and more vacation rentals are becoming present on Google. So this might be something for vacation rental owners to look into, but I unfortunately don't have the full knowledge to share too much with you today. I just thought it was worth mentioning in case anybody wants to research that on their own. Google does recommend integrating with one of their third-party providers to help set up hotel ads, as I believe it's quite a technical setup they have to go through. And there are also specific conditions that each property has to meet in order to be eligible. So from my research, I found that this means having rooms in which paying guests can stay, a physical presence and fixed location that is open to the public, as well as a staffed front desk during normal business hours, and a minimum stay requirement of no more than 7 days. So let's go back to this retargeting topic in more detail. Retargeting helps you keep your brand in front of bounce traffic after they leave your website. For most websites, only 2% of web traffic converts on the first visit. So retargeting is a tool which has been designed to help companies reach that other 98% of users who don't convert right away. So I can see you're probably all thinking, so how does this work? So my diagram on the screen here shows the flow of retargeting. Basically, you start by placing a small, very unobtrusive piece of code on your website. The code is sometimes referred to as a pixel. So this code or pixel is unnoticeable to your site visitors, and it doesn't do anything to affect your site's performance in any way. But it means that every time a new visitor comes to your website, the code drops an anonymous browser cookie. Later, when your cookied visitors browse the web, other sites, as in not your own website, the cookie will let your retargeting provider, such as Google Ads, know when to serve ads, ensuring that your ads are only served to people who have previously visited your site. So I'm sure this has happened to all of us listening before. You're online shopping, maybe you want a new computer or a new denim jacket. You find a few possible choices, but you haven't made your decision yet. So you leave the site, you get distracted, and you go to Facebook or Instagram or any other social channels or even any other website. And suddenly you're scrolling on Facebook or flicking through Instagram stories, and you see an ad about this exact product you were looking at a few minutes before, a few days before. You're being retargeted. And one of the main reasons that retargeting is so effective is because it focuses your advertising spend on people who are already familiar and have recently demonstrated interest. In general, most marketers who use it see a higher return on investment than from most other digital channels. But all of these paid marketing efforts will go to waste if you don't track your conversions. So knowing the return on investment of your campaigns is one of the most important aspects of paid marketing in order to determine if it's working for your business or not. So Google's definition of a conversion is an action that's counted when someone interacts with your ad. So that means they might click a text ad or view a video ad, and then they take an action that you've defined as valuable to your business. So that might be an online purchase or a call to your business from a mobile phone. And setting up conversion tracking in your Google account can help you see how effectively lead to valuable activity on your website, such as bookings, form submissions, and so on. The two main things you need to be able to set up conversion tracking is first your own website, and second, the ability to edit it. So if you have a webmaster, maybe they will need to give you access, or if you use a self-service tool like Logify, you can obviously freely edit your website whenever you would like. And conversion tracking allows you to see which keywords, ads, ad groups, and campaigns are best at driving valuable customer activity. As well as this, it helps you to understand your ROI in order to make better informed decisions about your ad spend. And you can see how many customers may be interacting with your ads on one device or browser and then converting on another. So let's take a look at where you set this up in your account. So if you already have a Google Ads account, you can go to Tools and then Conversions. And when you create a new conversion action, you get this screen in front of you. So in our case, we'd want to click Website. And here we can see the various different website actions that Google offers. So purchases, sign-ups, leads, page views, and other similar actions that customers complete on your website. So similarly with retargeting, conversion tracking requires you to add a tag or code snippet to your website code so that when a potential guest clicks on your ad from Google Search or selected Google Display Network sites, again, a temporary cookie is placed on their computer or mobile device. And when they complete the action you defined, Google recognizes the cookie and it records a conversion. So to summarize, there are a lot of steps to do if you're putting your property on paid channels. So you can start by creating a Google Ads account if you don't have one already, and identify the best keywords to target travelers wanting to visit your destination and property. Then decide the type of ads and which formats you want to go for. In some cases, this may require some designs for display ads, but for search, you want to play with the wording until you have a few messages you're really happy with that you think will convert. Then set your conversion goals, and you can also set up Google Tag Manager to manage things like your retargeting pixel and the conversion tracking we've just spoken about. Then finally, get to know the system and understand your conversions and what you can do to improve the conversion rate, such as testing different ad copies, different calls to action, and so on. If you don't have a website yet, then that will be the first step you need to do. Logify does offer a 7-day free trial for all new users. And this gives you plenty of time to create your website and test out all the other features of our software without any obligation to commit, as we don't ask for your credit card details. As well as this, you can find a lot of helpful content, tips and guides across our blog and resources section of our website. You can also read some success stories of other property owners who use Logify to run their businesses, including some who are having great success with Google Ads. You can find links to all of these resources in the presentation, which we'll send shortly after I've finished the webinar today. I just want to say a big thank you again to everybody who has joined us, and we'll answer any outstanding questions now in the chat. So please stick around if you're still waiting for an answer. And yeah, if you have any other questions about today's content, either stick around now or you can drop me an email just replying to the email you received to sign up to the webinar. So thank you very much, everybody. Good session, and that concludes our direct booking webinar series. We'll see you next time.